Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Screen Stars. Time for another review, and I thought I would do a review of the first series of the Tom Hardy drama series Taboo. Now, this was aired on FX and the BBC in the UK. Um, Now, I didn't really have an awful lot of interest in this initially because, to be honest, me and BBC dramas don't really tend to mix very well. I tend to find them a bit stuffy and a bit boring generally. But I'd heard a few positive things about Taboo, and I'm a fan of Tom Hardy, so I thought I would give this a go. So Taboo is the story of Tom Hardy's character is called James Delaney, who has been missing in Africa and presumed dead in Africa for many, many years, and returns home upon the death of his father to claim his title and his land, but also, more importantly, his father owned a piece of land that is imperative and very, very important to both the Americans and the British who are at war. And whoever owns this piece of land has got right permission to trade through this route somewhere, and it's obviously very, very important. And Tom Hardy owns this, so the series basically he's spending the whole series playing off the Americans, playing off the British, all in the while making himself more powerful. So that's kind of the story that we've got here. And right in the background, there's like a hint at like a supernatural voodoo type thing going on from his time in Africa. So there's that kind of sprinkled in the background to give it an air of mystery, if you like, as to some potential powers that he may or may not have. So that's kind of Taboo in a bit of a nutshell. Um, Now, I've watched all 8 episodes, I believe it is. I've watched all 8 episodes, I binge watched them, and I have to say, I found them a little bit of a struggle to get through. I didn't hate the show. I thought it was very interesting in a lot of ways. I just didn't like the show, and they don't give you an awful lot of reason to like the show. To be honest, it's clear that they want to make James Delaney, or Tom Hardy does, because he wrote it with his dad, I believe. They want to make him some kind of anti-hero, but they've gone very down the anti route because he's very dislikable. There's very, very little to like about this character, James Delaney. He's a bit of a bastard to everybody. Um, Interestingly, there's Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter is in it. She's called, I believe, Una Chaplin. She plays his half sister in the show. Um, and there's some kind of strange relationship between them. It kind of hints that they had some kind of relationship before he went to Africa of a sexual nature. Um, and it's kind of odd how they wrote her character. It was almost like if she hadn't been in the show at all, we would have lost nothing. I don't think her character was developed at all, and her story arc at the end was a complete waste, I felt. So I didn't really understand that character in the show. I mean, there's a few. I mean, there was Franca Patent. I believe that's her name. Who was from the Bourne films. The first couple of Bourne films, Jason Bourne's love interest. She plays like a madam, a prostitute in in the show. And again, if she hadn't have been in the show at all, she wouldn't have been missed. There was a lot of underdeveloped characters in this show, I felt. And a lot of effort was put into James Delaney, but I feel the route they took him down was far too dark. And for a character you're supposed to be rooting for throughout the show, he just kept giving you reasons to not root for him and not like him because he's such a bastard. He's almost like a mean and nasty, aggressive version of Del Boy, because he's doing dodgy deals all over London, and he's placing all his cards and getting all his aces in the holes ready for the last couple of episodes. But the build up to that, um, I think they took too long. I think the final couple of episodes were really good. I really enjoyed them, and that gave you the payoff that you wanted. The setting was great. It was very realistic, very gritty and muddy and bleak. You believed everything that you saw, but everyone was horrible in the show. Everyone. There was nobody to root for. There was nobody nice. The voodoo aspect of the show, the supernatural side of it, they never fully commit to. Um, you don't really know if it's real or not. It just kind of hints at it. You learn very little about his time in Africa, only from what he says, really, and rumours. It could have done with a few flashbacks, I think, to the Africa stuff. All you really saw was him for many episodes walking around London brooding. It kind of sounds like I'm giving the show a really hard time. In a strange way, I did quite enjoy it. It was superbly made, well acted, and it's got a brilliant cast. I think my favourite character was Jonathan Pryce's character, who was like the head of the um, East India Trading Company, who play a massive role in the show. And he's a complete bastard, but he does it with a glint in his eye almost, which I think is the route probably that Tom Hardy needed to go down with his character. And take a bit of a leaf out of Jonathan Pryce's book, really. So, a good show, decent. I probably will try the second series.